Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look, as we always do, outside our weather window, and a beautiful one out there again today. A little bit on the breezy side. I think things did calm down a little bit late afternoon. We saw some pretty good wind midday today, and a few clouds, as you can see by our Sky-Fi tower camera shot from Wenatchee Heights. That's our cross camera with a few mid-level and upper-level clouds out there today, but still a pretty nice day with temperatures about where they should be for this time of year, maybe a little bit above. But we do have some storminess headed our way, and that will be Friday night into Saturday morning. But look at this map. Isn't it kind of ironic that the only spots on this entire map not showing any sign of precipitation? Wenatchee and Chelan. So that tells you a little bit about how strong this storm system will be. Hardly any rain totals out of this as it comes in Friday night. We'll talk much more about that, and then another storm system in time for next week. That coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A routine traffic stop yesterday in Kittitas County led to the arrest of a murder suspect from King County. Addressing what it called a flood of rumors flying around social media, the Moses Lake Police Department said it's found no evidence of busloads of agitators that are coming into town with stockpiles of bricks to attend what they have as a protest march on Sunday. And the Superior Court of Douglas County doesn't expect to hold any jury trials until at least September as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. But first, we begin tonight. Wenatchee police carried on an 8-hour standoff with a stabbing suspect who barricaded himself in an outbuilding early today. Police Captain Edgar Reinfeld says a special tactical team used irritant gas to finally bring 25-year-old Francisco Ruiz Salgado out of the building on South Meadows Street.
About 12:15 last night, so shortly after midnight, officers responded and contacted a victim near there who was obviously injured and obviously had multiple stab wounds. They immediately started rendering aid and called for aid for her and got that going. Officers approached the suspect location and spotted the suspect as he took shelter in a converted garage or outbuilding on the property in the 1700 block of Met House. They established containment and held it down. A SWAT team arrived thereafter and set up further containment and then began the process of trying to convince him to come out. He barricaded himself in the residence, and the SWAT team, over the next several hours, used a variety of means to finally gain his coming out. So once he came out, he was placed into custody.
Bloody footprints, probably those of the female victim, were visible outside the residence this morning. Reinfeld says she suffered knife wounds that were not life-threatening. The suspect lives at that Met House Street residence, but the victim does not. After he was treated for gas exposure, the suspect was booked on suspicion of assault at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Well, a routine traffic stop yesterday in Kittitas County led to the arrest of a murder suspect from King County. Just before 1 p.m. Wednesday, State Patrol pulled a car over for speeding on I-90. That was about 5 miles west of Ellensburg. Upon contacting the driver on South Thorpe Highway, a state trooper recognized the man as a wanted fugitive from Seattle based on a flyer sent out to law enforcement a week ago. The man was identified as 46-year-old Thomas Oscar Cady of Shoreline. Cady was wanted on a $5 million first-degree murder warrant out of Seattle. Cady was listed as armed and dangerous. The passenger accompanying him was his cousin who had rented the vehicle. The pair were fleeing the state with plans to go to Kansas. Seattle Police Department detectives took custody of Cady and possession of that rental car. They booked Cady into the King County Jail. In other news, addressing what it called a flood of rumors flying around social media, the Moses Lake Police Department said it has found no evidence that busloads of agitators are coming into town with stockpiles of bricks to attend a protest march on Sunday. In a statement, the department said it's spoken with organizers of that march and with people in the downtown area who have armed themselves to protect businesses, and they believe both have peaceful intentions. The department said it will uphold the constitutional rights of both those who protest peacefully and those who lawfully bear arms. At the same time, the police said they're ready to deal with any illegal activity. Thus far, small protests in Moses Lake have been without incident. Protests over the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis continue in north central Washington and throughout the country. Well, the Superior Court of Douglas County doesn't expect to hold any jury trials until at least September as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Judge Brian Huber issued an administrative order on Monday that continues every scheduled trial until after the summer, the better to avoid spreading coronavirus in the courtroom and jury box. Some hearings will still be held virtually, but juvenile cases are canceled until mid-October, and no civil lawsuits will be heard in person. This extends the emergency orders Huber put in place back in March as this pandemic closed in. Meanwhile, Chelan County Superior Court has stalled trials until at least mid-July. Coming up next, as the impacts of Governor Inslee's Stay Home, Stay Healthy order continue to develop, Douglas County has implemented budget reductions. The Washington State Department of Transportation says a video it posted Thursday shows the importance of the work being done to remove rocks from the hillsides along Highway 97A. New East Wenatchee Police Chief Rick Johnson was sworn in Tuesday by Mayor Gerald Crawford at a City Hall ceremony. And I'm Grant Olson. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Nissan is the value leader in new cars and SUVs. Check out these new models starting at under $20,000. The all-new Versa from $17,020. The all-new Sentra from $17,400. And the all-new Kicks from $17,995. Now you can have the Nissan style, performance, and reliability, all for under $20,000.
And they're all here at Town Nissan, up behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. Now you can fish like a pro without breaking the bank thanks to the ProMag aluminum fishing boat by Smokercraft. It features a great layout with a spacious bow casting platform, huge live wells, and in-floor storage to safely stow your gear. See the Smokercraft line of boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
Welcome back. In another news, Douglas County commissioners warn budget cuts are coming, and they assign the blame to Governor Jay Inslee's emergency orders over COVID-19. In a press release on Wednesday, the commissioners said they'll reduce the county's $20 million budget to prepare for expected losses in sales tax revenue. That could mean vacant jobs left unfilled and changes in county maintenance schedules. All three commissioners have been party to lawsuits seeking to overturn the governor's state of emergency. The Washington State Department of Transportation says a video it posted Thursday shows the importance of the work being done to remove rocks from the hillsides along Highway 97A. The highway has had day-long weekday closures since the slope stabilization work began May 20th in 3 different locations. In addition, Knapp's Hill Tunnel has been under an emergency closure since May 13th after the falling rock problem became too hazardous. The $660,000 project is expected to be completed by June 15th. New East Wenatchee Police Chief Rick Johnson was sworn in Tuesday by Mayor Gerald Crawford at a City Hall ceremony. Johnson is the former Chief of Patrol for the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, and he previously worked for the Wenatchee Police Department. He was hired for the job April 21st after being selected from among 20 applicants. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Aging and Adult Care offers many in-home care options and services for seniors and family caregivers. But did you know they also offer free in-home delivered meals? Aging and Adult Care has expanded its program for home-delivered meals to help elderly and vulnerable adults at this challenging time. If you are in need of prepared meals or know someone who could benefit, call Aging and Adult Care for more information about free home-delivered meals. Call 509-886-0700.
The two hottest pickups in America are at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. First, the Ram 1500 with back-to-back Truck of the Year awards from Motor Trend, and now the Car and Driver 10 Best list for 2020. They call it a luxury sedan with pickup capabilities. Ram is on a roll now with third-generation eco-diesel power. Next up, the Jeep Gladiator, also a 2020 10 Best model based on the new award-winning Jeep Wrangler. It has options and capabilities that no other truck can offer. Two more reasons when it comes to buying a truck: there's no reason to leave town.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, a lawsuit challenging Governor Jay Inslee's COVID-19 executive orders won't be moved out of Chelan County, but it may be a while before it gets a verdict. Judge Kristen Ferreira yesterday turned down a state motion to move the case to Thurston County, and the Attorney General's office says they'll appeal that decision. In the hearing yesterday, Ferreira said the case may be facing other hurdles. We've got some highlights.
So I think venue is appropriate here. I struggle with the idea that the legislature would have intended that the governors could issue a general proclamation and there could be an action in every county based on that. And I think though that at that point the court would decide that it's probably more convenient and better suited to have all of those cases in one court. But when we're talking about a situation where there's a general proclamation, but it is treating different counties differently for different reasons, I think it's appropriate to keep it here. By keeping it here in Chelan County, I don't want to give any implication that it's going to be different here than it would be in Thurston County. We're all judicial officers and we are all expected to be fair and impartial. The court will allow a motion for temporary restraining order to be filed again, but I'll let you know, Mr. Ard, that it's not even really clear to the court based on the previous motion what it is that the plaintiffs are asking. And it seems that the plaintiffs are asking the court to just lift all restrictions. And I don't know that there's anything in the record that demonstrates that would be something that the court should do. So, and I also don't see that there's anything from the health district about what would happen if the court issued some sort of a temporary restraining order, and that's concerning to the court. I understand that the health district can't violate any of the orders or statutes, but I still think that something more specific from the health district would be expected in any further motions, at the very least, about what would happen if the court did issue some form of a temporary restraining order.
All right, time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Today, I'm going to do it from the desk. We're having a few technical issues today, so your weather will come from right here at the desk. So let's take a look at our weather window this afternoon, and it was a beautiful one out there. We did see some high clouds, a few mid-level clouds also roll through. Breezy conditions. I wouldn't really call it windy today. We did see winds about 10 to 15 miles an hour, but all in all, not a bad day. Unofficially, our high temperature was very mild once again, 78 degrees. 76 is where we should be for this time of year. About normal for our low temperature this morning at 54. Record high, 98 degrees. That was set back in 1969, and our record low, 42, back in 1991. Sunrise this morning was at 5:06, and the sun will set tonight at 8:54. Let's take a look at how our Friday will shape up, and not a lot of changes from our Thursday forecast. The big difference for tomorrow will be more clouds, and we'll see that throughout the area. Moses Lake 80, also a Freda tomorrow. Ellensburg at 75. Quincy, you'll see 79, more in the mid-70s as we get back to the Wenatchee area proper. Cashmere 75, and up in Omak you will see a high temperature of 76. Taking a look at that surface loop tonight, increasing clouds. We're continuing to see that this afternoon, and that pesky north breeze, that'll be with us tonight as well. You can see some clouds just off the Washington coast and that curled up area of low pressure that's beginning to slide down the coastline of British Columbia. That's what will bring the clouds in tomorrow, and that 30% chance of showers. And showers will be late in the evening, probably even closer to midnight for us here in central Washington. It will begin on the west side on Friday afternoon. So for the most part, Friday really won't be a bad day. And as we get into the weekend, partly cloudy skies on Saturday, more wind to deal with too out of the northwest, 10 to 15 miles an hour, and plenty of clouds all over the western United States. You can see the low just off the coast. Sunday, that's right, more windy conditions. On Sunday, we could see it a little bit stronger, even 10 to 20 miles an hour on Sunday. Not ruling out an isolated shower either, as that large area of low pressure just to the north of Montana continues to pull some moisture up with it. Monday, there it is, more wind. It'll be cooler than normal as well, mostly sunny skies, but look at that picture. All the western United States will see some windy conditions. It will be cooler than normal on Monday as well, with highs only in the upper 60s before we start to warm up a little bit on Tuesday. Also, going to reintroduce some more showers into our Tuesday forecast with a 30% chance of the wet stuff, mostly cloudy. And then as we get into Wednesday, things will get a little bit better. The big noticeable change for Wednesday, much warmer temperatures. I think most of the rain showers will stay on the west side, while we will see warming temperatures into the mid and upper 70s, maybe even 80 degrees for the folks down in the Tri-Cities. Now let's take a look at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. Tonight we'll drop down to 55 degrees for our overnight low, 76 and mostly cloudy with nighttime showers for Friday. We'll cool off on Saturday and Sunday, 71 the high on Saturday with partly cloudy skies. Remember, wind throughout Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. A 20% chance of rain Sunday too. And the first time in a long time that we won't even see 70 degrees for our high possibly on Sunday before things warm up nicely as we get into the mid part of next week. By Wednesday, partly cloudy with a high of 78. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
You want to help others. You need a solid career. You can have both with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, stop by our campus at 595 Grant Road across from Safeway, or visit chartercollege.edu.
Opioids are now one of the leading causes of injury-related deaths in Washington state. More people die from overdose than from car crashes. Between 2012 and 2016, more than 3,300 lives in Washington were lost to opioid overdose. We are all part of the solution. Your choices matter. If you are prescribed an opioid pain medication, talk with your doctor about other options, and don't share your prescriptions with other people. It starts with you. Learn more at getthefaxrx.com.
This is Caitlin Hedersheet, the producer of the NCWLIFE magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCWLIFE magazine right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Thursday to you. Staying home and staying healthy. Eric Granstrom on the NCWLIFE channel. Russell Wilson is a vocal leader for the Seahawks as well as the NFL, but finds it difficult to talk about football right now. He says he has a heavy heart with the racial tensions across the country and in Seattle.
what I'm praying for is that we learn how to love, we learn how to communicate, we learn how to overcome, we learn how to, to try to, have perspective. I know for us as a team, we've been having a lot of conversations. A lot of the guys, we've been spending a lot of time talking, and and I think we've been, and as you guys know, obviously, with our team, we talk a lot. We get to communicate a lot in different ways and try to figure out, how do we make this world a better place? How do we make our communities better? How do we, even as teammates, how do we make sure that we, treat each other always with respect and love and care and understanding, and just try to grow. And, for me, when you think about the idea of Black Lives Matter, they do matter. And the reality is that me as a Black person, people are getting murdered on the street, people are getting shot down, and the understanding that, it's not like that for every other race. It's like that in particular, for the Black community. And, I think about, my stepson, I think about, my daughter, I think about our new baby boy on the way. And, it's kind of staggering. It's staggering to watch these things happen right in front of our faces.
The NFL part of the conversation has gone back to Colin Kaepernick. Wilson says the former 49ers quarterback was right to protest on behalf of the Black movement and should still have a job in the league.
Racism has been going on for 400 years. I think there has to be radical changes to our system. I think leaders have to step up, African American, but in particular, our white leaders too as well, and be able to speak out and speak up, and our companies and everything else to be able to make a true difference. I think, in the police force, there needs to be a change. I think that not every police officer is bad by any means, but the reality is that I think that there needs to be a process of how, the background checks and checking on these people and constantly, not just the first time they get hired, but also throughout the whole process, as they're working too as well. And I just think that there's so much there that needs to be changed. And I think that, Colin should definitely be playing in the NFL, and could have had an opportunity to do that.
Wilson says he continues to pray for our country and that changes are eventually made so that his children don't have to grow up in a world of fear and hatred. You can see the entire interview online at Seahawks.com. Well, the NBA is one step closer to returning to play. On today's Board of Governors call with League Commissioner Adam Silver, the owners approved a plan to finish out the remainder of the 2019-20 season at the Disney World in Orlando, where eventually a champion will be crowned. That's according to The Athletic. The vote required 3/4 support to pass, and it received a 29-1 vote from owners on the call, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Owners now need approval from the National Basketball Players Association before the league can move forward. NBAPA is expected to hold a virtual call tomorrow to approve the plan that the owners just voted on, according to the New York Times' Mark Stein. The plan, when approved, would have 13 Western Conference teams and 9 Eastern Conference teams heading to Disney. The playoffs would start in August, and the NBA Finals probably stretching into October. Well, the virtual graduation ceremonies at Eastmont and Wenatchee High School coming up tomorrow here on the NCWLIFE channel. There's one more senior tradition that has to happen first, and it's tonight. The signing ceremony for 20 high school seniors at Wenatchee High School. NCWLIFE has worked with the Wenatchee Booster Club as well as Wenatchee High School Athletics Department to bring you this short program tonight at 7 o'clock. The evening will culminate with seniors agreeing to what they call the pledge.
I commit to furthering my academic
and athletic endeavors at college this fall.
I intend to lead by example in the classroom.
And as a member of my team,
to show respect for myself,
my coaches, and my institution.
And to be a good citizen and teammate.
At times when my commitments
and goals seem overly
difficult or out of reach,
I will remember that everyone
makes mistakes, and I will not let
mine define me, only strengthen me.
That attitude is a choice.
Nobody that gave his
or her best ever regretted it.
Most importantly, I will remember that I have
the love and support of my family,
my friends, and my community.
If I can dream it, I can do it.
Again, senior night tonight at 7 here on the NCWLIFE channel. We'll follow that virtual ceremony with some hockey. A great game from our past. We're headed back to the RBC Cup for May of 2018 as the Wenatchee Wild took on the Wellington Dukes. Our checker with the play-by-play tonight at 8 o'clock here on the NCWLIFE channel. And again, a reminder of our graduation coverage starting tomorrow here on the NCWLIFE channel. Eastmont's virtual graduation ceremony is at 6, followed by Wenatchee at 8. Also worth noting that following the Wenatchee High School graduation broadcast tomorrow night, there will be fireworks celebrating the class of 2020 shot from Walla Walla Point Park. We'll feature 3 graduations on Saturday, starting with the live stream of Quincy's drive-through ceremony at 1 o'clock. Cascades High School's virtual ceremonies at 5, followed by Cashmere at 7. We'll be streaming all the graduations on our website at ncwlife.com and also on our Facebook page. Congratulations to the class of 2020. That's Sports News. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thanks a bunch, Eric. And how about a feel-good story as we leave you tonight? Emma Lopez of Soap Lake says her son Alexander is still talking about the special day he had on Sunday celebrating his 5th birthday. After Emma asked if there was something law enforcement could do to help make the day special, since it's Alexander's dream to someday be a police officer. Soap Lake Police Officer Trevor Jones and Grant County Deputy Jason McDonald quickly stepped up. They escorted a parade of well-wishers and vehicles past the boy's home, then stopped in for a visit, as did Deputy David De La Rosa. Alexander was born with caudal regression syndrome and has had struggles and setbacks his entire life, including heart surgery when he was just 4 days old. Doctors told Emma her son was unlikely to ever walk, but on his special day, he was standing tall with a big smile. And remember, if you have a video of the day that you'd like to see on the NCWLIFE Evening News, message us on our Facebook page at the NCWLIFE channel. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Tomorrow on Friday, we're going to celebrate 2 obscure holidays. Tomorrow is National Moonshine Day, and Friday is National Donut Day. Moonshine and donuts. You don't want to miss it. You might even want to DVR it. Plus, we'll have all the latest news, your weekend weather forecast, and everything you need to know to start your weekend Friday on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. right here. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan, and I'm all in for the moonshine. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.
In a world afraid of technology, one man, one show will bring you the newest innovations that may just change your life. This summer, Ray McNeil and your Weekly Tech Update is your Weekly Tech